The latest on Raja Jackson's shoot attack of wrestler Stuart Smith. WWE ends their partnership with Nox Pro in the wake of the incident. And my review of Monday Night Raw. I'm Ollie Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Despite the weekend scene, AEW Forbidden Door, NXT Heatwave, and Luke Owen meeting Scotty 2 Hotty, the biggest news story right now is what happened on a tiny indie show on Saturday at the Nox Pro Academy in Los Angeles, where Raja Jackson, the son of famed MMA fighter Rampage Jackson, physically assaulted a wrestler called Syko Stu, whose real name is Stu Smith. Earlier in the show, Stu had hit Jackson with a worked beer can shot to the head, which Jackson wasn't aware of. There was some confusion as Stu didn't realise Jackson wasn't a wrestler either. This was all seemingly sorted out between them when Smith apologised and the promoter got them to agree to Jackson doing a run-in spot on Stu's match later in the event as a work shoot spot. We know this in such detail because the show wasn't just broadcast on Kick. Raja was also live streaming everything himself, including him getting more and more worked up, building up to his run-in, where he said he was going to hit Stu as hard as he could, over and over, until he got pulled off. He awfully delivered on his promise when he finally came down, slamming Stu to the mat and then proceeding to throw 21 punches to his head from a mounted position, with Stu likely being knocked out for most of them. Once the wrestlers realised what was happening, they pulled Raja off, but by then Stu was unconscious and choking on his own blood and teeth. Smith was taken to the hospital. There was one claim that he went home the following day, but a photo from his friend posted on social media showed Smith still in a hospital bed on Monday. With the update, his case was not as positive as I had hoped. I know and hope he will make a full recovery. I believe that Nox Pro is at fault for these events. To have allowed this to happen is beyond belief. Honestly, I'm upset. And the latest update has come on Tuesday the 26th from his brother Andrew that says that Stuart is resting and is conscious and does have some recollection of events from the day of the attack. The family have set up a GoFundMe page, which Chris Jericho has donated $2,500 to. At the time of me recording this, they're already $55,000 to their $60,000 target. The link is in the video description below for you to support. The promotion Nox Pro, which is owned by Rikishi, the father of Jimmy and Jey Uso, posted the following statement. What was supposed to be a planned and agreed upon wrestling spot turned into a selfish, irresponsible act of violence against Mr. Smith. This egregious act is reprehensible and never should have occurred. In the 17 years of operation of Nox Pro Wrestling Academy, there has never been anything as heinous take place such as this, and we apologise to our patrons and fans. Nox Pro was one of the independent promotions affiliated with WWE as part of their ID scheme, like Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy, Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory, and Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. But following the Raja incident, it seems Nox Pro has lost that status. Firstly, the promotion removed all WWE ID branding from its social media. Then PW Insider confirmed that WWE have severed ties with Nox Pro. But losing a WWE relationship might be the least of the promotion's worries, as the LAPD have confirmed they are investigating the incident. There's no easy way to segue out of this story, so I guess Raw review. The Clash in Paris Go Home episode took place from Birmingham, England, which might not have dented AEW's Forbidden Door attendance like WWE hoped, with that show breaking the O2 attendance record, but it did bring excellent crowd chants. Everyone stood up because they love Roman Reigns. They chanted F Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins is a pussy, which got censored. The crowd was fantastically hot all night. So hot, even the same kind of 20-minute opening segment we get every week didn't dampen them. This episode was Roman's turn, who talked about how much he's lost, his bloodline, his titles, his wise man. He didn't, however, mention his shoes. Who steals a shoe? This brought out Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed to interrupt, where Reed said he's the Samoan Roman's daddy warned him about. To which Reigns replied, "Oh, you're Samoan? Then your ass belongs to me." Samoa Joe feud confirmed. They had a brawl that was so intense, only an ad break could stop it. Finn Balor is becoming increasingly paranoid. He's seeing El Grande Americanos everywhere, and they're always talking to Dominic Mysterio. Finn's luck worsened when he got ejected from the following Dragon Lee vs JD McDonough match for trying to interfere. I know, right? Dragon Lee and JD McDonough? who's going to get pinned first? They didn't get much time, but what they did was really good. Dom tried to help JD once Finn was thrown out, but AJ Styles beat him up instead, letting Lee get the win. Finn and Dom bickered backstage afterwards, which set up Balor taking on AJ later on. We got backstage interviews with LA Knight, CM Punk and Jey Uso ahead of their fatal four-way for Seth's World Heavyweight title in Paris. The soft reset of Knight moving to Raw has been pretty effective so far, and Roman hyped Jey up trying to impart some of his selfish wisdom on his cousin, as maybe he's been too friendly up until now. Yeet. And it's also funny how no one trusts CM Punk. Then came Penta versus Kofi Kingston, after Penta had beaten Xavier Woods last week in a feud over a hat. Yes, I know Roman and Bronson are feuding over shoes, but this is different, because this is Penta, who is taking the WWE by storm, and the New Day, who had one of the best heel turn segments of the decade just 9 months ago, feuding over a hat. They all deserve so much more, but they feel stuck in a directionless undercard, not going for any titles, with Grayson Waller trying to get people to sign a petition to ban Penta's Mexican Destroyer. It's a cute gimmick, but one I've seen lots of times before. It feels like they're all trying to do the most they can with the creative, but the creative has them slotted at a very low ceiling. Kofi kicked out of the Penta driver, which the commentators played up big, but Waller's slight distraction let Kingston pick up the win, likely meaning this feud is continuing. I guess with Penta finding a tag partner or some trios partners. Maybe Andrade and Rey Fenix will hot brands imminently. Before I get on with the rest of the review, I just wanted to share a pretty big bit of personal news with you all. This time next week, Tuesday the 2nd of September, Ollie Davis will be a published author. It's Mr. Book. I've got a book! For the last 2 and a bit years, I've been working on my debut novel right here, HearRational, a comedy story about a YouTube influencer, no connection, whose conspiracy theories about an invading force of interdimensional vampires made him one of the biggest celebrities on the planet. And it will be published by Vine Leaves Press next Tuesday. Let's see what people are saying about it. Hollywood actor Adam Pearson says, "If you're a fan of Black Mirror, then this book is for you." Luke Owen writes, "Brilliantly clever and highly original." And Laurie Blake praises, "I feel personally attacked. This has been my dream ever since I was 7 years old in infant school, where I would make handwritten copies of my Doctor Who stories and pass them around in class. I've always been really cool, so I'd really appreciate if you could pre-order yourself a copy by clicking the link in the video description below, and then buy copies for all your family and friends too." Now back to the review. We got a recap of Naomi revealing her pregnancy, which went into a segment of Stephanie Baker asking Adam Pearce what the hell is going on with her women's title shot for Clash in Paris. He said he needs a week to confirm her opponent, so that'll be announced on next week's Raw. And the Wrestling Observer believes the actual match will take place at WrestlePalooza on the 20th of September. I know this situation was out of WWE's hands, but it has left quite a weak-looking Clash in Paris card. I think Becky Lynch is my favourite thing in WWE right now. Ever since the first Lyra Valkyria match, her character has brilliantly clicked. A delusional heel with a very fragile ego. It makes her a really compelling villain to play off in promo segments. Usually, we'd all end up cheering Becky because she's a badass, even if she's a bad guy. But because she gets rattled so easily with any lines thrown back at her, she's much easier to boo. It was Nikki Bella calling her Charlotte's Shadow here that first got her going. It made Becky rant about years of the English suppressing the Irish, that the only good thing to come out of Birmingham, Ozzy Osbourne, died a month ago, and there was even a C-word reference. They had a brief scuffle when Nikki stood tall. The Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Asuka love triangle didn't really go anywhere again this week, as the Kabuki Warriors saw Io hugging Ripley, despite Io just having asked Rhea to respectfully stay out of her matches. And then following Ripley beating Roxanne Perez, Io ran down for the save, leading to another shouting match between her, Asuka and Kairi. I would have preferred Roxanne getting more against Ripley, particularly after she beat Io earlier this month. Then you could tell the story that this personal drama is also affecting Rhea and Io's in-ring results. I would have also preferred a lot more from AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. I know it's not 2017 anymore, but AJ versus Balor, former Bullet Club leaders, in their 5th ever singles match, went 8 minutes, with AJ winning clean. When every single match on Raw seems to involve some kind of DQ or interference finish, Finn, who's in the Judgment Day, the kings and queens of interference and DQ finishes, lost clean. I guess they're trying to tell a story of Finn's increasing isolation from his own faction, but it felt more like a phoned-in enhancement match for AJ versus Dom. which was booked for the IC title next week. Bayley got another vignette, which has given the clearest view yet of her new gimmick. She's Two-Face. She's currently stuck between her babyface hugger character and her heel role model persona arguing in her head. Hopefully she emerges as one coherent figure rather than goofily arguing mid-match with herself. Like smart babyfaces, Roman and LA Knight attacked Braun and Bronson before the main event got underway. Knight and Breakker then had a decent back and forth match with a perfectly timed wolf whistle from the crowd when Braun pulled down his straps. But I struggle to get invested in any Raw main event at the moment because you're really just waiting until someone comes out to interfere. This time it was Seth, who distracted Knight enough but didn't technically interfere for Braun to hit him with 2 spears for the win. The standard brawl then followed, with Jay running down first, then Punk. The heels escaped while the babyfaces tensely shared the ring, and Seth screamed to Braun in the most tell, don't show manner, "Bronald, observe! They're doing it for us." Knight and Punk started fighting, so Jay took Knight out, but in a cool spot showing Jay took Roman's advice from earlier, he then superkicked Punk too. Another incredibly standard episode of Raw at 65%. There's been a huge injury at the end of AEW's Forbidden Door. Click the video on screen now to watch our full review of that excellent show.